We thank you all very, very much for coming. This is a very exciting concert for us. As you see from the advertisements in our program, we've been invited to perform this summer in Cairo. We've been invited by the government of Egypt, so it's a really quite an astonishing situation. Actually, all of the things that we're performing tonight, we will be performing in our concerts in Cairo. They've asked us to give 2 or 3 completely distinct concerts during our concerts there. So we're having to work on a tremendous amount of repertoire, which is a great occasion for us. We're really thrilled, and it's thrilling for us to have the chance to play these out for you today. These are some of my favorite pieces in my studies in music, in music going to Egypt over the years. But thank you very, very much for coming. We're going to start with a dance from Upper Egypt, from the Ghawazi people of Upper Egypt. Thank you very, very much. Okay, we have a tradition here of welcoming Sue Rednicky. So Sue has led the percussion section since the ensemble's creation in 1989. So this is our 21st year. Sue Rednicky. And I'd also like to take this moment to welcome and thank our professor of Arabic language, Professor Magda Kampa. Professor Magda Kampa, thank you very much. So this instrument here is called the mizmar. It's one of the folk instruments of Egyptian music, of Arab music. Thank you very, very much. One of the surprising things about our ensemble, I guess I blame it on, or I think it's because we're based in a field of ethnomusicology, that we play a huge variety of types of music. So this was a folk music, a dance music tradition from southern Egypt, and now we're going to do a sort of art music, a popular art music tradition from Cairo. This is a song that was really raging in the early to mid 1980s by the singer Said Makawi. So this is a piece from Cairo itself. Said Makawi is really a beloved musician, a beloved singer and a composer. He's maybe best known for compositions for Kulthum, the singer, but this is one of his own. He sang this himself. And it's really quite a beloved song. It's a song about spending the evening with your companions, and these are all good people, and life is good because we're able to spend time with our friends. So that type of song. Please realize that we have all the words to all of our pieces in this beautiful, beautiful program here. So if you open it up, the first words are in fact in this song here. So the song called Halloween Mignona. Let me just say that in the middle of the song there's a refrain that you could, if you were interested, join us in singing. And the words are Alena Ghali. Alena Ghali. Can we talk about this? Alena? Alena. Again, Alena? Alena. Ghali. Alena Ghali. You'll find this all over the place here in this song if you want to sing along. Again, just 2 words, Alena Ghali. It means that, oh, he is dear to us. Oh, this companion of ours, he is dear to us. So you'll hear it. Please, if you feel like joining us, please do. Alena Ghali. The song Halloween Mignona. the next song, still very much based in Cairo. We're going to go back some 60 years from that song. That song was from the 1980s. This song is from the 1920s. And it's from a very interesting figure. This is Daoud Husni. Daoud Husni. He was a great singer, but also a very serious composer. He sang some of the, he composed some of the heaviest compositions of the first couple of decades of the 20th century, of the genre d'or, adwar, washahat, very serious, very heavy pieces. But we've actually picked one of a very light piece that he composed for musical theater. And I think you'll get a sense, this is such a beloved piece, this piece here. It's really, it's got a beautiful groove, it's very light-hearted. It's the song Yahleila, Yahleila. Again, by this is from a Jewish family, Daoud Husni, one of the major figures of the early 20th century. For those in Ethno who know there was a 1932 Congress, he performed for Egypt. This gentleman, Daoud Husni, was a singer at the 1932 Congress. So this was a time when this Jewish singer was really riding on top of things here. One of the greats, really the great people. Actually, his son, I worked with his son when I did my work in Cairo. His son was one of the teachers of the government ensemble. The idea that people who grew up knowing the repertoire, these were the people that passed it on to other people. So you didn't learn the repertoire from books, but you learned it from the senior-most people in the culture who taught it to you orally. So I would watch as he actually taught choruses in Cairo. The song, this was his son Kamal Husni. So this is his father, the song Yahleila, Yahleila, composed by Daoud Husni. Gary, it's on the side. So as an ensemble, we do a tremendous variety of repertoire for the most wonderful of reasons. We'd love to do, we are about to do a song by the Persian singer Haydn. So this song was introduced to us by a former student, one of our graduate students, who was writing her master's thesis on Persian music in Los Angeles, and she was focusing on the Persian singer Haydn. So Haydn was a woman who had her career in Tehran, and then with the revolution in '79, she and a huge number of other people, singers in Tehran, moved to Los Angeles, and they actually created a situation where Los Angeles was renamed Tehrangeles, for the fact that Persian popular music ended up in Los Angeles. And one of probably the most famous of these was the woman singer Haydn. So this is one of her songs, again given to us by a former graduate student here. Please welcome our dancers in this Persian dance. And we are absolutely thrilled to have Giselle be our singer. Okay, these are one of the things we have to do in our performances in Cairo is feature music by the singer Abd Halim Hafiz. There was definitely a sense of a top three in the 20th century, in the middle of the 20th century, when, because of a variety of factors, radio and movies, and then TV, there was a whole new sense of superstar performers, people who achieved a fame that up to that point just had not been possible. And this is a fame that extended all the way west to Morocco and all the way north and east to Lebanon and Syria. So these, of course, the most famous of these three was Kulthum, but I think without a doubt the second was Abd Halim Hafiz. And so for this reason, we are absolutely required to have a good bit of his repertoire when we go and perform in Cairo. The third, I might add, is Farid al-Atrash. So we very happily have with us a recent PhD in our program, Rob Hodges, as our solo singer. So we're going to please bring out Rob Hodges in the voice of Abd Halim Hafiz. So we're going to do short versions of two songs. These, I must say, are two of the very, very most famous songs in the Arab world. Some of the very, very top, most famous songs. So please sing along if you know the songs. I think you'll enjoy it. If anyone wants to dance in the aisles, especially for the second, or just stand up right where you are, dance in your seat, we'd love to have you. So this starts with a beautiful moment by Stephanie. Stephanie. So this is a second of the Halim song, and we're going to, as is the tradition, have our oud players pick up other instruments. Often when instruments were added to the ensemble for special items, it was often the violin section. Someone would put down their violin and pick up an electric guitar. So in this case, we're having our oud player Phil pick up an electric guitar. This is called the guitar. So we all try this guitar. And Nari has put down his oud and picked up a saxophone. These were very, very important instruments in these decades here in the 60s and 70s. Very, very important instruments. This is the song Zay Il Hawa. Zay Il Hawa. So this is just a small part of the song. I should say, if you're not familiar with the idiom, the instrumental introduction is maybe 3 or 4 minutes long. Instrumental introductions became very longer and longer as the 20th century progressed. So a lot of what you'll see with these instruments is actually in the instrumental introduction, and those before the singer, before Abdul Halim would start singing. The song Zay Il Hawa. Beautiful, beautiful. Rob Hodges. We've had the wonderful opportunity to work with a number of student groups on campus. And right now we have a dance with the Armenian Student Association dance team. Please welcome members of the Armenian Student Association. And please welcome Jim Grippo on Canoon for the introduction here. Jim. Okay, this is the, after a very, very serious and very, very beautiful dance, this is the most light-hearted moment of the concert. It's part of my sense that as a ethnomusicology ensemble, we should look for as many different pockets of music culture and try to bring them out to show as dense a picture of the whole culture area as possible. And I had a chance actually when I was on a grant in 1998 to study the mizmar. This was this instrument that I played at the very beginning. So I actually had a government grant to go study this in Cairo. And at the time, my two sons were very, very small. The older of my two sons just celebrated his 17th birthday. This is Ziad Marcus. Ziad, he's 17 now. He's been in the ensemble for, we've tried to figure out, I guess he's been in the ensemble for 10 years now. And my other son is Ari Marcus. So in 1998, they were very, very small. 98, I guess you must have been 2 and you must have been 5 or something like that. So we had a babysitter, and the babysitter started teaching him this children's song. And this is where I learned the song. I learned it myself as my kids learned the song. And it turns out it's by far and away the most famous children's song in the Arab world. And so we'd like to perform this for you now. This is a song by Mohammed Fawzi. The song is called Mama Zaman Hagea. So this is a children's song that I think every Arab person in the audience knows. I have Moroccan friends who know this, and Arabs from Israel, from Lebanon, from Syria who know this. Actually, people know it because it was recorded. I believe it was part of a film, but so it's recorded. And it's on YouTube, actually, and you can see this. So here's the singer himself, the composer, Mohammed Fawzi, and he has this little baby in front of him, this really, really little baby, less than a year old. And in all the breaks in the song, you hear the baby crying, and he's crying really forcefully. It's obviously created in a studio. And, so all the breaks, whenever we perform this for Arab audiences, people will fill in the breaks with baby sounds. So these are very, very well-known baby sounds. Yeah, so if you could please help us out, all of you who know the song well, and give us these songs here. So this is a song about Mama is coming. Mama's coming soon. She's bringing with her a bunch of things, toys and things. She's bringing with her a bag, and in the bag there's a duck and a goose. And they go whack, whack, whack. So you'll hear the whack, whack, whack. This happens every time we sing the refrain. And then there are a number of verses, and we're going to sing only 2 of the verses. The first one is about this boy named Adil. And Adil does not drink his milk in the morning. And so because of this, he is very thin. And his legs are so thin, they're like a piece of thread. So they take him to a doctor, and the doctor has to give him not just a shot, but a big shot. So this is obviously to scare the kids here. So they give him a big shot, and then the second half of that very verse goes, but from that day on, he started drinking his milk, and his muscles grew bigger and bigger. So this is the warning to kids that they must drink their milk in the morning. And then it comes back to the refrain about the duck and the goose, and you'll hear the whack, whack, whack. And then the next verse that we've chosen, we figured if we're going to sing about a boy, and we're going to do only one more verse, the other verse should be about a girl. And this is about the girl Suad. And Suad is in elementary school, and she's just a bad student. And she talks in class, and she lies to her teacher. She loses her books. And in a class of 30, she's number 20. So she's towards the bottom. And then from that day, she started learning, she started studying, and the teacher then put her with the smart students. So the idea, of course, that the bad students are somewhere in the back, I guess. So they put her with the smart students, and she studied some more. At the end of the year, her report card came, and she was first in her class. So here we are at a university. We put this out there as an instructional song to all you folks. As you're about to take your end of the quarter exams and give your end of the quarter papers, you too can become first in your class. And then it goes back to the duck and the goose, whack, whack, whack. There's another verse about a boy who plays with matches and burns his finger, but we're not going to sing that one today. Okay, so please welcome the song Mama Zemen Hagea. It means Mommy is coming soon. We thank all of our helpers in that song. So we have one more song before we take an intermission. I'd like to thank a number of people who helped us so much here. I'd like to thank Sue Rudnicki and her husband for helping us with the printing program. This was quite a thing for us, quite a thrill, this printed program here in the cover. Sue, we thank you very, very much. Dana, we thank you very, very much. We'd also like to thank Copyright Printing and Phoebe Mansour for helping us with this. Phoebe actually donated the color part of this printing. Phoebe Mansour. Phoebe, are you here? We thank Phoebe very, very much. Phoebe is at copyright printing right here at Hollister in Goleta. And I must say she has helped us over and over and over. She actually has a little ad in the back here. We thank the people who have helped us over the years by putting ads in our programs. We have a strong sense that people who have helped us, if you could then patronize these folks, and so we have a nice circular system where they are helping us, and we as a community are helping them. We can all continue to do what we do. We have, needless to say, as a group, we have tremendous expenses just to keep the group growing, let alone to try to get to Cairo, Egypt. And we thank Phoebe and Copyright Printing for her help with this. We also want to thank Dana for videotaping. Thank you very, very much. We'd like to thank Gary and Jim for doing the sound here. And I just want to say that at intermission here we have CDs and booklets for sale. We have videos. Our dance troupe has dance videos for sale. We have refreshments. But also we have this special thing which we're trying to do is we're actually asking you to, if you can, then it would be great to have you contribute to our fundraising effort. We're trying to get ourselves to Cairo, and interestingly, the government of Egypt has agreed to, as part of the invitation, to sponsor us. So they will host us. As soon as we arrive, we will be met, all in the realm of inshallah. We will be met by a bus, and from that point on, we're just at the, we are being hosted. So the Egyptian government is going to do our transportation, our hotel, and our meals, etc. in Cairo, but we have to get there. And so that's, needless to say, a huge project. And I must say we've had great, great successes. In no way am I giving you a sob story here. We've had great, great successes. And we're very, very close to our goal. But if you can and are able to help us, we have a very unusual situation that I went to fix some musical instruments. And one of the ouds, this instrument here is an oud, one of the ouds was so bad that when the instrument maker, this is a gentleman who lives in Anaheim Hills in Irvine, Anaheim Hills in Orange County. When he opened up the oud to fix it, he said, you know, this oud is so pathetic that it's not worth fixing. So I said, okay, well, just give me the parts. And so now we have this oud sitting outside, which it's just not worth fixing. But it became very interesting as a teacher, you know, to show students the inside of an oud. It's very to see all the parts of an oud. And so when we had this idea today that we would ask for contributions towards our trip, to ask you folks for contributions, we thought of putting a big vase, something like, you know, big, maybe Orientalist vase that you can imagine, and instead, yeah, or a drum, but instead we put a broken oud out there. I don't know if you saw it when you were coming in, but please check out the oud because it's very unusual to see the inside of an oud. And all the parts there, the face is separated, the neck is separated, so it's really quite interesting from just a point of view of seeing what an oud looks like. But then if you can, please, we have envelopes, but if you can drop in a bill or two, that would be great. If you can drop in a check with some zeros in there, we'd very much appreciate it. Okay, we thank you very, very much for coming out. This is just the last piece of the first half. We have a very, very exciting second half. And we're going to end with a dance of Turkish music from a Roma culture, from what in English we often think of as gypsy culture. From Roma culture, this is a song from Turkey, and the dance. Please welcome our dancers. we wanted to welcome a number of people who have come to the concert. I wonder if these people have already either they're still standing outside or they've decided to take off. But one of the people we're very, very pleased to have here on campus now is our teacher of North Indian or Hindustani tabla. This is the drum tradition, North Indian drumming, and this gentleman is from Nepal. This is Homnath Upadhyaya. He's been our teacher here for many, many years, and he's just back here. Homnath Upadhyaya. Homnath ji has been our teacher for many, many years. I think he first came in '99. Okay, so it's been a good while. And he just came back just 2 weeks ago after being away back in Nepal and Kathmandu for about 4 years. And he's going to stay all the way till for another 6 months. So if any of you all want to take North Indian or Nepali drum, the drum called the tabla, he is our teacher, Homnath Upadhyaya, and you could reach him through the music department. So he's going to be here all the way through fall quarter, so he will be teaching classes. His classes now also co-taught by Rob Wallace, and my classes on the sitar, the Indian sitar. We're going to have our end of the year concert on Thursday, June 3rd. So if you can come out, if you're interested, please come out for this concert. This is a concert of North Indian and Nepali classical music with, again, our teacher Homnath Upadhyaya. Thank you very much for coming back, Homnathji. We also want to welcome back a number of people who are in the audience who are former members of the ensemble. Might you all stand up? If you're a former member of the ensemble, we'd love to have you stand up. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. And we have a wonderful gentleman who just arrived in the United States, and hopefully he's going to stay here perhaps forever. Amen. Are you still here? Amen. Okay, this is a great musician of Turkish classical music. He plays the Turkish version of the ney. He was here the first half. We welcome Amen as he is here. So this is a great addition to our world here. Okay, a couple of things before we start. Being the end of the year, one of the things that happens is we give awards. Every year there are awards given in various ways, but in the field of ethnomusicology, we give awards in a couple of ways. And one of the ways is for excellence in performance. So those people who have been studying music traditions, world music traditions, and we'd like to give this award this year to 2 people. We'd like to give this award to, actually both of them are named Jason. Jason and Jason. We'd like to give the award to Jason Gabriel for his evening. Jason Gabriel. Jason has gotten deeper and deeper and deeper as an oud player. Wonderful, wonderful. The sound of his oud, the richness of his playing, it's just absolutely beautiful. Jason Gabriel, the award in ethnomusicology for excellence in performance. Jason shares this award with his friend here, Jason, who is a tremendous violinist, and we actually gave him this award for all his work in Irish music, both here on campus and in the city of Santa Barbara. Jason leads the Irish sessions in town, and we think this is just a really wonderful thing. We are very, very impressed with the work he is doing in Irish music. He's also given 2 performances on campus just over the last year. Jason Busnevsky. Thank you very, very much, the 2 of you. Yeah. And another series of awards that we give out is awards sponsored by the Tajayan family, the Sarkis Tajayan family. These are awards that are given to support people who go to a week-long retreat that happens in August every year. This is the Sarkis Tejean Memorial Fellowship to support students here in the Ensemble who go to this camp. It's all the way in Mendocino, California. And so we thank the Sarkis' family, Sarkis Tejean. Sarkis was a tremendous member of our community. He really worked hard to keep the Armenian tradition going here in our community. He had a program on public access, the Armenian Forum, for many, many, many years, over a decade. And he was also one of the founding members of our Friends of Middle Eastern Music Association, on the board of that. So in his honor, we have this fellowship. And so this will happen again. This is, I believe, the 16th year that we have this fellowship. So we haven't actually finalized who the people are, but this is an ongoing fellowship, and we thank the Tejean family for this ongoing fellowship. We will announce who these folks are that will win this award this year, and I guess in our next performance. So there's another award that happens every time this year. So we're going to start the second half of our concert, and with a rather surprising piece. This is a piece of art music in the Arabic language that gives in a poetic form, in a melodic form, the 99 names of God according to the Muslim tradition. There are 99 names of God, and these are known as the Asma Allah al-Husna. And Sayyid Makawi is the one who composed this piece. And it's quite a well-known piece. This is a piece that is performed in Cairo in art music performances. And about 6 or 8 years ago, this was also recorded by a pop singer named Hisham Abbas. And so now it exists as a modern pop recording, but it is the same composition that we're going to perform now. And so actually folk weddings and even five-star weddings at five-star hotels often start now with a DJ playing the Hisham Abbas recording of this very song. So again, what is the song? It's the 99 names of God set in a composition. So after a very short initial phrase, it's the first name, and then the second name, and then the third name, and then the fourth name, all the way through the 86, 96, 97, 98, to the 99th name. And then it has a concluding section. So the succession of names is in your program, as well as the initial introductory words and the finale words, a very rich composition set in a very difficult mode, Maqam Huzam. So this is the piece, Asma Allah al-Husna.
Hayu, Hayu, Hawazi,
Our dance troupe and the ensemble works with many choreographers, actually throughout the United States, when we learn pieces. And we're going to perform now the first of two pieces that we learned from the very famous, one of the most famous Armenian choreographers in America. This is Tom Bozigian. So we worked with Tom a number of times, and this is one of his pieces. These are two classical dances that we're going to be playing of his. This is the first is a piece called Top Sharma. So this is from the Eastern Armenian world with a very strong Soviet influence. You'll notice this, I think, in the way the composition goes. So a song from what was back then a Soviet Armenia, of course now the free nation of Armenia. Again, a composition, the first of two, by Tom Bozigian. So one of the aspects of learning Middle Eastern music is to learn the genre of solo instrumental improvisation. So in Arabic, this is called takasim. So all of us here on the melody side of the ensemble, one of the tasks we have before us is to try to understand and master the genre of solo instrumental improvisation called takasim. And so to do this, I actually, as part of my teaching duties, as part of my classes, I teach this idea that how do we improvise in Arab music. And the idea is that each time you pick a scale or a mode, the word is maqam in Arabic music, you pick a maqam, and then you have to learn what are the procedures that people use when you improvise in this given maqam. Having learned one maqam, then you have to learn the next one. Many aspects transfer from one to another, but you have to learn the new particulars of the new maqam. So right now we're going to feature one of our newer students on the Nai flute, the reed flute. Please welcome Ethan Schwartz. And Ethan is going to present a solo called a takasim in a maqam called Hijaz. Maqam Hijaz. Please welcome Ethan. Interestingly, Ethan is a freshman here, finishing his first year. then Staying in the Same Maqam, a well-known piece by the composer, the beloved Sayyid Darwish. And somewhat of a similar song by the great composer Zakaria Ahmed, Ya Salat Zain. Okay, as soon as our dances are ready, we're going to do the second of the Armenian dances. This is where Takasim comes in. you very much. These dances are ready here. So this is an Armenian women's dance. Again, the second of two choreographies by Tom Bozigian. among the repertoire that we keep coming back to are the songs of the Lebanese singer Fayrouz. And we are very, very lucky and honored to have Melanie Hutton be singing in the voice of Fayrouz. Please welcome Melanie. Of course, there are hundreds of Fayrouz songs, but this is among the very, very beautiful of her songs, the song Abtaninana. George is going to start us off here. George on accordion. Okay, we thank Melanie again. Melanie, now we're going to work with one of the other campus groups, the Lebanese Club at UCSB. Right on. So this was a genre of dance called depke, and now we're going to do one of our own with our own ensemble dancers. Probably of all the depke melodies, the most famous melody is the melody Alla Bellona. It's both refers to the lyrics and also to the melody, and we'd like to perform a version. This version was sent by a former PhD student, someone who passed through our program, Dr. Ken Habib. Ken now works as a professor in San Luis Obispo. So this is his arrangement of a traditional Lebanese, Palestinian, and Syrian song and melody here. This is the song, the dance, the depke, Alla Bellona. Okay, we're going to end our concert with a very big treat. We have a tremendous guest dancer. We have had a chance to work with a great number of dancers from throughout the United States at various times, often as our solo number in our concerts here. And we're very pleased to have a great dancer right now to finish our program. This is the dancer Patine. Patine has been dancing throughout the United States and throughout the world. Right after, as June comes along, she's going back to Cairo yet again to teach in Cairo. She's been teaching in Cairo now for 3 years. She goes back and teaches at a June festival, a tremendous, really the biggest Middle Eastern, the biggest Arab dance festival in the world. This is a festival that happens at the latter part of June each year, and she is now one of the ongoing teachers at this festival. Please welcome Patine, our guest dancer. For the music for this piece, we're going to start with a vocal piece by Farid Al-Atrash, and we're going to end with an instrumental piece by Farid Al-Atrash. And for the vocal, please welcome back Rob Hodges. Again, Rob Hodges singing a Farid Al-Atrash song. Please welcome Patine. And this is going to be started off right now here by Jim Grippo on the canoe.
Matt, and Jim, Kathleen. Thank you all very much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you very, very much. We want to go around the room here and thank the band, starting with our oud section. Our oud players. And Phil, who has been our oud teacher. Phil. We want to thank Jim on Canoon. We want to thank our accordion section, our very happening accordion. We want to thank our guitar section here. Guitar. We want to thank our clarinetists. Clarinet. And our violin section. Violin. Whoa. We want to thank our keyboard. We want to thank our knife section here. Whoa. And Claros on Santo. And we want to thank our lick players, our tambourine players. And we thank Shirley for being our tambourine player for all of our chorus rehearsals. Shirley Forrest. Our frame drummers. And we thank our drummers, all of our drummers. And we thank Sue Rudnicki for leading our drum section. And we want to thank all of our chorus people. All of our chorus people here. Absolutely amazing. Our chorus people here. A tremendous chorus. We want to go around and thank all of our instrumental soloists, starting with Phil again on the guitar. Phil for guitar solos. Matt for oud solos. Narid for saxophone solos. Jim for amazing canoon solos. Chris and George for accordion solos. Stephanie for clarinet. Sachi for violin. Richard from Bismarck. Ms. Barr, and of course Sue for all her drum solos. And we want to bring out Ethan. Ethan, are you still here? Ethan Schwartz. For his live solo. Oh. And we want to bring forward our vocalists. Can we get your again? Giselle for her beautiful, beautiful Persian solo. Melanie Hutton for her beautiful, beautiful Peru solo. And Rob Hodges for his multiple solos. Farid al-Atrash and Abdul Halim Hafiz and Rob Hodges. And we'd like to bring out our dancers. First, the Armenian Student Association dance team. Are you folks here? And our Lebanese club dancers. And we'd like to bring out our own ensemble dancers, Jennifer, and Shannon, and Laura, and Chris, and Kat, and Ellen, our ensemble dancers. And the leader of our dance troupe, please bring Alexander King. Alexander. And finally, we'd like to bring out our tremendous guest dancer, Fatim.
And can I get a final round of applause for the director of our Middle East Ensemble, Dr. Scott Marcus.
We already have dates for next year. It's in the program. We have a date for a November concert. We have a date for a March concert. We have a date for a next May concert. Please keep these dates open. Thank you very, very much for coming.